Did you know that when Edgar Allan Poe was just 18, he enlisted in the United States Army? I didn't either. He had a very rough life from the very beginning to the very end. His story begins in Baltimore on January 19, 1809. He was born to two traveling actors, and he was the middle child of two. He had a brother and a sister. When Edgar was just 3, both of his parents died. He was taken into the home of a wealthy tobacco merchant named John Allan and his wife, Frances Valentine Allan. As Edgar's gentleman, Mr. Allan wanted Edgar to be a successful businessman and a Virginia gentleman. For those of you that don't know, in the 1800s, adoptive fathers were called gentlemen. By age 13, Poe had written enough poetry to publish a book. However, because Mr. Allan wanted Edgar to be a businessman and Edgar wanted to be an author, Mr. Allan's headmaster advised against it. In 1826, Edgar left for the University of Richmond. However, Mr. Allan only sent him with a third of the money needed for college. By the end of the term, he was so in debt that he had to burn his own furniture in order to stay warm. Humiliated and angry at Mr. Allan, he went back home to Richmond, Virginia, to see his fiancée, Elmira Royster, only to find her engaged to another man in his presence. Devastated, he went to writing, and he published his very first volume of poetry. And he also, as I stated in the beginning, enlisted in the United States Army. While in the Army, he found out that Mrs. Allan was dying from tuberculosis and wanted to see him before she died. However, when he got there, she was already buried. He briefly reconciled with Mr. Allan, and Mr. Allan got him an appointment at the United States Military Academy at West Point. He worked for a magazine company many years later named The Messenger, and he was the editor, and then he got promoted to a magazine writer. He wrote book reviews, and very scathing book reviews at that. And he targeted very famous authors of the area, including anthologist and editor Rufus Griswold. When Edgar was 27, he married his 13-year-old cousin, Virginia, in Richmond. Their marriage proved to be a very happy one. To show her love and her affection for him, she wrote a Valentine poem and to show his joy of marriage, he wrote a poem named Eulalie. In the Panic of 1837, for those of you that don't know, that was a stock market crash. He struggled to find a living. This is a picture of him writing at his desk and his wife sitting in the rocking chair. I hope that this information was very valuable. Thank you. And I got my information from PoeMuseum.com and Tales of Mystery and Imagination, and also the Poe collections, both books.